The Galactic Council chamber hummed with the familiar buzz of 1,000 species debating matters of cosmic importance. Jassy, the Council's chief intelligence officer, stood at the central podium, her six-fingered hands gripping the edges as she surveyed the assembled delegates. Her species, the Valorians, were known for their analytical minds and caution traits that had kept them alive for 12 millennia. "Honored delegates," Jassy began. Her voice amplified across the vast chamber. "I stand before you today to issue a formal warning against the proposed invasion of the planet designated as Earth." Sol 3, a ripple of dismissive chittering spread through the audience. Commander Krax of the Zephan Empire leaned back in his floating chair, his mandibles clicking in amusement. "Another fear-mongering session, Jassy? The humans are primitives. They've barely left their own moon." Jassy's eyes narrowed. "That is precisely what makes them dangerous, Commander. They are a species that has evolved under constant existential threat. Their entire history is warfare, adaptation, and survival against impossible odds." Daniel Hayes sat in his cramped apartment in Detroit, completely unaware that 23 light-years away, his species' fate was being debated. The mechanical engineer had just finished another double shift at the factory, his hands still smelling of machine oil. He cracked open a beer and turned on the television, catching the tail end of a documentary about the Apollo missions, back in the council chamber. Jassy pulled up holographic displays. "Let me present the data. Humans achieved powered flight in 1903. 66 years later, they landed on their moon. In the span of a single human lifetime, they went from ground-based transportation to interplanetary capability. Impressive for primitives." "Perhaps," interjected Ambassador Thela, her crystalline form refracting the chamber's light. "But we achieved faster-than-light travel 3,000 years ago. What threat could they possibly pose?" Jassy's expression hardened. "The threat of unpredictability. Every species in this chamber evolved on worlds with abundant resources and mild climates. Earth? Earth has subjected humanity to ice ages, megafauna predators, plague, famine, and natural disasters that would have extinguished any of our civilizations. Yet they persist. More than persist, they thrive." She manipulated the holographic display, showing Earth's surface. "Their planet is 70% water, yet they conquered the oceans. They have deserts that would kill most of us in hours, frozen wastelands at their poles, and they've established permanent habitation in both. They've survived extinction-level volcanic eruptions and asteroid impacts." "Survival instinct is not military capability," Krax countered, his warrior pride evident. "Isn't it?" Jassy pulled up more data. "Let me share something disturbing. Humans have developed over 40,000 distinct weapon systems. They have refined the art of killing each other for 10,000 years. They fought wars that killed millions and emerged from those wars with even more sophisticated ways to destroy." Daniel scrolled through his phone, looking at pictures from his deployment in Afghanistan. 5 years had passed, but the memories remained sharp. He'd seen good people do terrible things, and terrible situations bring out the best in people. War, he'd learned, revealed what humans truly were: adaptable, relentless, and impossible to predict. Jassy continued. "The Zephan Empire boasts that your warriors train for 30 years before seeing combat. Human soldiers are combat-ready in months. Why? Because they've culturally encoded warfare into every aspect of their civilization. Their children play war games. Their entertainment glorifies combat. Their greatest heroes are warriors and explorers." She pulled up footage captured by long-range probes humans in various combat situations. Humans exploring extreme environments. Humans building machines that defied physics as most species understood it. "But here's what truly concerns me," Jassy said, her voice dropping to a grave tone. "Humans possess something we eliminated from our species millennia ago, through genetic engineering and cultural evolution-controlled insanity. They call it thinking outside the box when faced with an impossible situation. Humans don't calculate the logical response. They improvise. They create solutions that shouldn't work, that violate conventional military doctrine. that make no strategic sense, and somehow they succeed. The chamber fell quiet for the first time. I've studied their history extensively, Jassy continued. When the Persians invaded Greece with 1,000,000 soldiers, a few hundred humans held them at Thermopylae long enough to change history. When the Mongols conquered most of their known world, scattered human resistance eventually absorbed and outlasted them. In their World War II, when one nation had every advantage, the humans they invaded fought them to absolute exhaustion through sheer refusal to surrender. Crax's mandibles stopped clicking. You're suggesting they can't be conquered? I'm suggesting that the cost of conquering them would exceed any possible benefit, Jassy replied. And I'm suggesting something more troubling, that attempting to conquer them might be the catalyst that unifies them and accelerates their technological development. She displayed more data. Currently, humans are divided into competing nation-states. They've wasted enormous resources on internal conflicts. But their history shows that external threats unify them rapidly. If we invade, we don't face one human government. We face the entire species operating as a single organism focused on one goal: our destruction. Daniel finished his beer and stood at his window, looking up at the stars. Somewhere out there, he thought, there might be other life, other civilizations. He wondered if they ever looked at Earth and wondered about humanity. He wondered if they'd be friends or enemies. He smiled grimly. If they were enemies, they'd learn what humanity did best: survive. Back in the council chamber, the vote was called. Despite Jassy's warnings, the council authorized the invasion fleet. Profit margins, territorial expansion, and pride outweighed caution. As the delegates filed out, Commander Crax approached Jassy. You really believe they're that dangerous? Jassy looked at the holographic image of Earth rotating slowly in the display. Commander, every apex predator in the galaxy evolved in isolation. Humans? They evolved alongside predators that hunted them. They learned to hunt the hunters. And now we're about to make ourselves their prey. Crax's mandibles twitched uncertainly. It's just one primitive planet. That's what the megafauna thought, Jassy replied quietly. The humans drove them to extinction with stone tools. Imagine what they'll do with the technology they'll reverse engineer from our ships. 3 months later, the invasion fleet entered Sol System. They expected easy conquest. They found something else entirely, and the galaxy would never be the same.